gonna go up the sidewalk? Hey everybody, in this video we're going to be talking about 3 of the bikes that should be in your stable. Let's get started!
So typically there are 3 types of motorcycles that you should have in your garage for different occasions. One definitely being the Supermoto. Supermotos are very versatile machines. They last forever. You can go off-road. They also allow you to push your limits to wherever you want to go with motorcycle riding, from beginner to experienced. Anybody can jump on one, anybody can ride one. They're fantastic bikes for learning tricks. You can do wheelies, stoppies, ride up and down steps with them, do jumps with them, and the maintenance intervals are almost non-existent. As long as you are doing a basic maintenance, such as changing oil and checking valves, tire pressure and chain, there's nothing really else you need to know about these bikes. They just last forever. There are 3 bikes in particular for Supermotos that you can buy. DRZ, which is DRZ 400 SM from Suzuki. They are the cheapest one you're going to buy. Also the lowest of power between the other 3. You do have a KTM 690, which I believe pushes out about 72 horsepower, and then you have a 701 by Husqvarna, which is the same engine. It also pushes out a similar horsepower. The DRZ pushes out about 40. You can get more, you can get less, based on what kind of mods you do. These things have a huge following. You can find any mod on these bikes for all 3, which then leads us into the next category of bikes, which is hyper naked bikes. What can I say? The number 1 street fighter at the moment is the FZ09 MT09. This bike is the most popular street fighter on the market right now. It's a 6-speed, it has 115 horsepower, it has an inline 3, it has that beautiful sound on it. It is an incredible bang for your buck. By no means is the FZ a budget motorcycle or boring in any way. It has everything that you need in a sport bike in an upright seating position. It is a legitimate urban weapon. Base price for this bike is about $8,999. You can get one used for about $5,000. It is a claimed wet weight of 421 pounds, which is very, very light for a bike, and you get about 115 horsepower. Just remember, these are just categories that I would want of motorcycles in my garage, in my arsenal. You guys can choose anything you want. I would suggest you guys go in and sit down on bikes. If you can test ride them before you make a purchase. I mean, you can go on Craigslist and test ride whatever bike you're going on from there. But these are specific to my tastes, but I do recommend checking out some of these categories. And with that being said, our next bike is the KTM 1290 Super Duke R. This motor is the most powerful LC8 engine ever built by KTM with a 1301cc 75 V twin. A 1300cc engine at 180 horsepower and only weighing in at 420 pounds wet. That is a monster for the road. It is also one of the highest priced motorcycles we're going to be talking about today, coming in at $18,699. A little too much for my blood, but if you can afford it, by all means, please look into this motorcycle. And next up on our list, yep, you guessed it, it's our Ducati Hypermotard 950. What can I say? I'm just a sucker for the V-twins and L-twins. This bike is a 114 horsepower, a claim weight of 388 pounds, wet, and about $17,195 for the SP model. You can get the basic model for a little cheaper for about $14,000. This twin-cylinder engine has been revised and lightened. It puts out 4 more horsepower than the earlier models, which makes it a super aggressive hooligan for the road. Which brings us to the final category of motorcycle on our list, the adventure motorcycle. Are you looking to do long trips, super comfortable rides, maybe camp out? Then these are definitely the bikes for you. All right, number 1 on the list is the BMW F850 GS Adventure. I know a lot of you are saying, dude, what the hell? Why don't you pick the 1250 GS? Well, it's because the 850 is a lot lighter. And when you're doing an adventure bike, you want to be able to do adventures. That doesn't just mean travel on the highway for long periods of time. That means you want to go off-road, you want to go down fire trails, you want to go through water, you want to go through mud. You just want an adventure off the road and on the road. So I chose this one for that reason. And it's 853cc, 90 horsepower, which is way more than enough for the road. And it has a parallel twin, and it's coming in at about 505 pounds, which in my opinion is pretty heavy for an adventure bike. I wouldn't want to pick that thing up off the ground if I drop it when I'm off-road. But it is a lot less than the GS 1250. This bike also comes in at around $13,345. Now I will eventually go into detail about each and every bike on this episode. This is just a very relaxed fit on each of these bikes. But I will say in later episodes we will go over more in more detail. Next up on our list is the Triumph Tiger 900. This bike is about $12,500. It is about 94 horsepower, and the weight comes in at about 460 pounds wet. These are the only 2 bikes I'm going to actually talk about in this category. These are the only ones I would want to go for. After this, they all start to look a little weird and ridiculous, so these are the 2 bikes that I'm very much into. As far as off-road goes, these 2 are very capable of going off-road. They are at home, on and off, especially in dirt. Both these bikes have comfortable seats for all-day riding, wind protection, and all the electronics you would possibly want for a motorcycle. You can go anywhere in the world with these bikes. I would feel super lucky if I had any of these bikes that we mentioned today in my garage. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up today for this episode. If you enjoy watching, please like, subscribe, and comment. I'll catch you in the next video.